What's up, YouTube? It's Artisan MC, and this Sunday binge will be on The Crow. Now, if most of you know, I'm a big martial arts fan, and one of the martial arts legends that I appreciate is Bruce Lee, but I also appreciate his son, Brandon Lee, who was cut down tragically in his prime. And this is the movie that it happened on, The Crow. Now, if you don't know, The Crow was a comic book by James O'Barr, and it chronicles the life of people who have died in violent circumstances and have been brought back to right the wrongs of their death. Right? I get into revenge stories. If you know anything about me or can pick it up, the Ghost Rider, the Punisher, Spawn, the Crow, the Darkness, these are all characters who come back to avenge a wrong that was actually done to them, and they don't do it in nice ways. It's not by teaching people how to love, it's by kicking ass and taking names, and I don't have a problem with that necessarily. So The Crow, when it came out, it was a sleeper hit. This was a movie that Brandon Lee himself wanted to make, and not many people knew about it. And mind you, this is, I believe, is before Blade, so comic book movies were in a really low spot. So getting this made was a bit of an undertaking. What made this movie really legendary was the fact that due to a tragic stunt accident, Brandon Lee was killed during the filming of this movie. And that kind of grief, or that kind of, shock, gave this movie its cult following later on. So it was a big deal to see. Now, if you watch this movie, you'll see that Brandon Lee, has the Crow makeup on and playing the character Eric Draven, who was a rock star and whatever, and was killed in, some tragic circumstances with his girlfriend, Shelley. And when he comes back to his loft a year later on Devil's Night, Halloween, he kind of starts getting psychic vibes, a little bit of psychometry where he can get the history off of things that he touched that belonged to himself or his ex-girlfriend or whatnot. And it kind of makes him a bit scary, or excuse me, not a bit scary, but makes him a bit in pain. But to deal with that and go out there and understand what he must do, he puts on makeup. Now, this is the part where I'll diverge a little bit from just giving you a rundown on the movie, because like always, I want you to see the movie yourself if you have not seen it. If you're a millennial, don't really know about The Crow too much, go watch the shit. It's night before Halloween. You should be watching this movie before Halloween, every year from now on, because I said so. But the makeup that he puts on is stark white makeup and the black clown face. And here's where this thing ties into the whole ending of this whole month. This makeup job was copied in Batman The Dark Knight by Heath Ledger. Another connection to somebody who also tragically died and propelled a movie into cult status with the fan base. Now, if you watch this movie, I want you to keep in the back of your mind the performance that Heath Ledger did in The Dark Knight. And if you notice the intonations and how he speaks and whatnot, it is a complete copy of Brandon Lee's performance in this Crow movie. It's a complete copy. Now, it doesn't take anything away from Heath Ledger from being a great actor, but it also does something else, which is giving respect to where you get the source material from. And that's something I'm always big on. I don't care what it is. Pay respect to the source. Pay respect to where you get it from. And so that's what I'm doing here. I appreciate Brandon Lee for who he is, for who his father was, and teaching him to become the man that he was. I appreciate Heath Ledger's performance in The Dark Knight because I appreciate Brandon Lee's performance of The Crow. Okay? So that's what it is for me. There are a lot of notable stars in this, some of which have been playing the creep role for a long time. But you have Michael Wincott in this. You have Bai Ling. You have Tony Todd, the Candyman, in this, along with Ernie Hudson from Ghostbusters and a number of other things that you've seen him in. And really, decent performances for what the movie was. Mind you, it was in the 90s, so everything is not CG up to standards, and because of the lead actor's tragic death in the middle of filming, they had to do some serious compositing to get some other scenes that he was in. But thankfully, all the fight scenes and major action sequences were already filmed first. So give it a watch. You know, it's the 30th, day before Halloween. Check this out. And if you really want to binge on two movies about, you know, revenge and people coming back, watch this one and The Wraith with Charlie Sheen. And if you know anything, I use The Wraith clips and GIFs in my reaction videos because that was another movie that I really like. But I like cars, so I like a cool car. If you had a cool car in a movie or a motorcycle, I was usually watching that shit. Well, that's it for me. Check out The Crow, check out The Wraith. Happy Halloween, and I'll see you guys next time. Like, share, subscribe. Peace.